Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Bedford High Gym as we bring you the grade 8 level of this NHIAA tournament game between the Concord Crimson Tide and the Bedford Bulldogs. Hi, I'm Harry Kozlowski here with Corey Munster-Tiger. And Corey, this is a team that the Bulldogs had 2 victories against in the regular season.
They seemed to handle them pretty well in the first 2 matchups, winning both of those games by 17 points. So we'll see if the Concord Crimson Tide has made some adjustments, looked at some game film, and see how they approach the game this evening.
This Tide team, it's a fairly young team. They only have 3 upperclassmen, just 1 senior, 2 juniors. The rest of the team made up of sophomores and freshmen. And it's not a very large lineup either. They're 2 bigs, they're 6 foot. And as you know, we have some larger players on the Bulldogs team. So we'll see how that matches goes on.
Yeah, credit them for a younger team for getting as far in the state tournament so far, as we will send the winner of this game to the semifinals.
Concord was victorious 68-34 over Trinity in their semifinal or their quarterfinal game on Friday. And the starters being announced now. Rosemary Layton, the first name for the Tide, followed by Ava Woodman. Elizabeth Cox also. And Elizabeth Blinn, one of their big scorers last time we played, right?
Absolutely. In that first game, she had 15, Elizabeth Blinn did.
And Jordan Lengel makes up the 5th member of that starting 5.
So for the Bulldogs, Safia Mumpini, the junior guard forward combo. Sydney Grogan, the sophomore guard. Catherine Pennick, the junior forward. Lana McCarthy, the freshman center forward combo. And of course, Isabella King, the senior guard, rounds out the starting 5 for the Bulldogs. We'll take a break now for the national anthem and rejoin you momentarily.
Nicely done. Great having a live anthem rendition for these games.
Absolutely. Emma Watts, the sophomore, has done a great job over the last several games here in Bedford High School. We really appreciate it. It does give us a feel of a more normal season having the live anthem performed.
And the fans are starting to come in here, both Concord fans and Bedford fans filling up the stands. And if you can't be here, nobody who wants to follow along, make sure you let them know that these games are being broadcast live over BCTV, streamed on the BedfordTV.com website, channels 23 and high definition 1072, and of course on radio on Bedford 105.1. We're ready for the inbound. Looks like Jordan Lengel will bring it in to Elizabeth Cox here. And a little bit of pressure there by Sophia Montini on that inbound, but they get the ball in anyway. Lengel looking for a pass inside, gets it to Blinn. She puts it up, no good. Off the rim, Blinn gets the rebound, but the ball's on the floor, and they're going to say it's a held ball, and possession arrow goes to the Bulldogs.
Yeah, the Crimson Tide had a mismatch down low with Blinn getting covered by Grogan, a much shorter player, but wasn't able to get that layup to go. And now the Bedford Bulldogs take over.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure on the backcourt there, but they get it to King. Her jumper no good, short on the rim, and Blinn gets the rebound.
Got to her spot. Not a bad place to shoot right there in the middle of the lane. Couldn't quite get it to fall.
Picks it over to Layton, now to Lengel. Now Ava Woodman with the ball at the top of the key. Down in the corner to Blinn. She sends it out top to number 21, Elizabeth Cox, and she lays it up and in for the early lead for the Tide, 2-0. And they're pressing in the backcourt. They're able to break it that time. Pass inside for Pennick off her hands, but it goes to Grogan, now to Mumpini for three, and she nails it.
Yeah, good recovery there. Found Pennick down low. Pennick couldn't quite handle the pass, but the ball found its way to Safia Mumpini from straight away.
Now a steal attempt there, and the shot by Blinn is off the mark. Bedford with the rebound. King down low to Pennick. Tried to get it inside to McCarthy off her hands. And they're going to say that Pennick or King traveled on that.
Strange call. Just put the ball on the floor. I'm not quite sure where the travel was, but it's a turnover nonetheless.
So 6:28 to play here. Bedford up 3-2. This is Ava Woodman driving to the basket. She gets blocked by Lana McCarthy, and they're going to call a foul on Lana.
I think that might have been Safia Mumpini coming over on the help defense that picked that one up.
Either way, it sends the Tide player to the charity stripe, Ava Woodman. Her first try is good. Now for her second attempt, game tied at 3. That one rims out. So we stay tied at 3. Pennick with the rebound. Gets it to Grogan, finds King on the breakout. Cross-court pass to Mumpini. She pulls up, gets it to Grogan off the foul line. That rims out. Concord with the rebound. Now Layton over to Woodman. To Lengel, tries a running jump, but that's blocked by McCarthy. Grogan has the rebound, 2-on-1 for Bedford. Grogan puts it up hard. Now the rebound by McCarthy. They're going to say it went off her hands, and it'll be Concord ball.
Yeah, McCarthy running the floor there. Got the offensive board, but one of the Concord Tide players got a hand in. Bounced it off of Lana's leg, so Concord takes over. Now Bedford has jumped into a zone defense here.
Here's Cox.
2-3.
Over
Coach Gibbs was telling us about this defense yesterday. It's a 2-1-2 or 1-2-2 defense where the bigs are up high.
Pass inside to Blinn is good. Short jumper.
That's where you might have trouble. If your bigs are high, your guards are low, and there's going to be a size mismatch there.
And a pass by Grogan goes off the hands of Cox, out of bounds. It'll stay with Bedford. 5:20 to play. The Tide are up 5-3. Mumpini inbounds to Grogan. And they come up to challenge her. Gets it to Mumpini. Now King from the corner for 3.
Got it.
6-5 Bedford now with about 5 minutes to go in the first quarter.
You saw the Concord top two in their 2-3 zone. Jumped Sydney Grogan real quick there, trying to get the ball out of her hands or creating some pressure.
Once again, they tried to get it inside the Blinn, but Bedford was ready. They broke it up. Now Mumpini's pass inside to Lana McCarthy is knocked away by Lengel. It'll be Bedford ball. So they tried to run the same play on that time to Blinn, but Grogan anticipated and was able to step in front of the pass for the turnover. Now Wimpini inbound, looking, finds McCarthy. She runs out of room, now gets it back to Pennick. Grogan back inside to McCarthy, the hook.
Got it to go.
In. Off the glass this time. 8-5 Bedford up. Cox, now she gets it over to
good defense there.
Duford. Thank you. Yep, it's a turnover on Concord. I was going to say the pass intended for Delaney Duford, but she got double teamed, tried to get the ball out, and that's where the turnover occurred. Now Sydney Grogan. Ball is slapped away there by Woodman.
Yeah, so again, they're coming out with a strong double team on Sydney Grogan. She's going to look for her options on the wings, but also a player, Safia Mampini, is looking like she's going to get to that foul line there.
Mampini all alone. Now. She takes a short jumper, bounces off the rim, no good. Rebound by Lengel. Concord comes back. This is Cox to Duford. Back to Cox, the runner. That's short off the rim. Rebound by Lana McCarthy. Now Grogan pulls up, decides to set the offense here for Bedford. Gets it to Mumpini. She's got two on her. Pass inside to McCarthy. She's going to do the same thing. Off the glass. Good. And a timeout called by Concord.
Trying to stay touch there. Bedford goes on a little scoring run. Lana McCarthy with two nice finishes in the lane there with her right hand. Soft touch around that rim. Several rebounds here in the early going, and she's powering the offense with 4 points.
Quick programming note, we've got hockey coming your way on Wednesday. Great win, by the way, by the Bedford Bulldogs, exercising the demons that the Blue Hawks have been to them all year. They lost 3 straight to them in the regular season, but it was Bedford victorious up in Exeter yesterday, a 4-2 win, which means they advanced to the semifinals. That's going to be played at 4:15 at JFK Arena, and we're going to have that game for you on Wednesday on BCTV as well as Bedford 105.1. Hope you tune in.
Tough timing, 4:15, right in the late part of the workday, Harry. What are we going to do?
Rush hour. You can watch it on your home work computer or listen on the radio. Now Concord with the ball. There's a turnover. It's going to go into the backcourt. Officials say that it was knocked away. I'm not sure about that. But they recover. Lengel now. Pass inside for Blinn. She can't control the ball. It's on the floor. And what's the call here? A kick ball on Bedford.
No, actually.
Okay, wasn't sure who the official was pointing at, but turnover by the Tide. They trail 10-5 here with 3:31 to go in the first. Now Grogan over the midcourt. Stops at the three-point line. The Mumpini sends it out to Pennick. Into the corner for Grogan. She's going to try 3. That's short. McCarthy picks up the rebound and puts it in. She's got 6 so far.
Concord's gone into a diamond and 1 where they're face guarding Isabella King, trying to keep her from getting going on the offensive end.
And once again, they tried to get it inside the Blinn, broken up. Now Grogan come back the other way for Bedford. Still dribbling. Now stops. Leaves it for Mumpini.
Good
pass
entry.
Inside to McCarthy. Knocked away. Pennick tries to get it. Goes to King, who gets it. Does an underhanded layup, and she gets fouled in the process.
Looks like Delaney Duford's going to pick up that foul on offensive rebound by Isabella King. Got back to her left hand, tried to scoop, but she got hit, so she'll go to the line for 2.
Bulldogs lead by 7, and it stays that way. King off the mark on the first shot. Now we get a change. Sophia Payne is in the game, and Elizabeth Blinn comes out for Concord. Second attempt there by King is good. She's got 4. And Bedford's up 13-5. Lengel over to Woodman. And here's a pass inside by Cox. Grogan once again is there to break it up, but he goes off of her out of bounds. So the possession stays with Concord.
Actually, Catherine Pennick's going to pick up a foul on that. It looked like either a reach or a push.
Now inside to Payne. She turns around and the ball rims out. Pennick gets the rebound. They're going to call a jump ball, and possession's going to go with Concord this time. Pennock actually had the ball first, and then Payne reached in to get her hands on it.
Yeah, good hustle play by Sophia Payne there, and tied her up. Got the possession back here for Concord.
Now over the back, but you can do that on an inbound.
Sure can.
Rick stayed with Concord here. Here's Payne from the outside. Shot no good. McCarthy gets the rebound. Now Bedford comes back. Up for Pennock. Pennock waits for Mumpini. Mumpini dribbling. Top of the key. Now a pass inside for Pennock. A little too far. She's got to come out. Pennock still there waiting for an outlet pass. Gets it back to Mumpini. Under 2 minutes to go here in the first period. Now a three-point attempt by Mumpini is off. And it's picked up there by Duford of Concord. They come back the other way. Elizabeth Cox. Back to Lengel. Pass inside for Payne. It was off the mark. She had to go back to get it. Now Payne turns around, and she's going to get the basket and one.
Strong move for Payne, coming back to her right hand, pivoting into the lane, took the hit, and she'll make the basket there. Get a chance for a three-point play as Catherine Pennock picks up her second foul.
And with that, the Tide cut the deficit to 6 with a chance to cut it to 5 here. And Payne right on the money there with that shot. She's got 3, and the deficit is now 5 points for the Tide. Bedford leads 13-8.
Emma Kazajanski checks in for Catherine Pennock, who's going to sit down with 2 fouls here early and actually late in the first quarter.
Now Mumpini with it. Pass inside to King. King brings it out. Finds Grogan, a high pass. She had to jump for that. Grogan gets it inside to McCarthy, and it gets knocked out. They're going to say it went off to McCarthy. I don't know about that.
Tough call.
But
so they're going to double team Isabella King pretty much every time she touches the ball. They're also looking to get that ball down low to Lana McCarthy. The entry passes have just been off the mark so far, the last 2 possessions.
This is Ava Woodman driving, and she tries to run her way through the Bedford defense and winds up losing the ball out of bounds. She ran into King there.
Yeah, good defense by King. Looked like McCarthy was in the mix there. Just stayed straight up. Didn't whack at the ball at all. Didn't catch arms. So.
Yeah, and they didn't move either, so you can't say it was a block. So it was a very good defensive setup there by the Bulldogs. And now King with it, getting harassed. McCarthy with a screen. Now
there you go.
They get it inside to her, and she puts it on the floor and winds up drawing a foul. Non-shooting foul. This would be an inbound play.
Looks like Sophia Payne's going to pick up her first foul on that one.
So here's Mumpini into King. Back down low to Mumpini for 3. Rims out. Good try. And now foul call. Yeah,
McCarthy's going to go over the back there. Hustling for the offensive board. That's fine. She's got 4 or 5 rebounds so far. Can't fault the effort.
And she's going to take a seat right now while number 12, Christina Braga, comes into the game. Concord inbounds. Cox over to Duford. Payne. Now Woodman. Pass inside for Payne. Good play. It's an and one. Payne lays it in. Got behind the Bedford defense there.
Looked like a set play there. Safia Mumpini is going to pick up her second foul too. A back pick on Isabella King. Got Payne open, so she has a chance for her second three-point play in a row.
That attempt is short, but the rebound goes to Lengel, and a foul is called on Concord.
Lengel putting that elbow out, trying to get some space for herself, and she gets called for the offensive foul.
And the deficit remains 3, 13-10. Concord's on a 5-0 run here, getting back into the game here. Just 30 seconds to play in the first quarter. And a turnover right there by the Bulldogs as Christina Braga dribbled the ball off the foot. Now Concord comes back. They've got 28 seconds to work with. This is Cox to Lengel. Looks inside to Payne. Decides not to do it. Now gets it back to Cox. She drives to the bucket. No good. And we're going to have a foul here. Looks like it's going to be on Payne.
Sophia Payne's going to get her second there, a loose ball foul.
So a great play there. They just couldn't finish it up.
It was set play, another back cut, getting the cutter on the right side of the lane. Wasn't able to finish there for Concord.
Now Duford is going to provide some pressure on the inbound. And now a change here. They're going to bring in Sophia Lagulon and give King a little bit of a rest. And now Duford retreats to the other court and gives Bedford more room to operate. Now they jump up on her, double team on Grogan. They find Kazajanski, pass inside to number 11, Braga, Marina Braga. She puts it up and good. Right at the buzzer.
Good way to finish that first quarter as Braga found herself right in the middle. Strong dribble to her left hand, was able to get the layup to fall for her. As Bedford had a lead, it was slowly slipping away, so it was good to get those last 2 points before the buzzer.
A good momentum changer right there. Like I said, they had the 8-point lead, and Concord was able to get it down to a 3-point deficit, and Braga's basket pushes it back up to 5. Scoring so far for that period, Marina Braga with 2, Sophia Mumpini with 3, Isabella King with 4 points, and Lana McCarthy leading the Bulldogs with 6 points.
On the Crimson Tide side, we have Ava Woodman with 1 free throw, Sophia Payne with 5, Elizabeth Cox has 2, and Elizabeth Blinn has 2. So that rounds out the scoring for the Crimson Tide. So interesting defensive approach by the Crimson Tide here as they've been switching their defenses around, a little bit man-to-man defense. There was a face guard approach to Isabella King, so they had either a diamond in one or the 1 and a 1-3 behind it. When King went out, they bounced back into a 2-3 defense. So with an offensive player of her stature, they're going to have to vary their approach here.
They seem to be bringing the pressure up on Grogan as soon as she crosses over the line, although she didn't do it there. Marina Braga into sister Christina. She gets the ball knocked out, but a foul on that play on number 30, Elizabeth Blinn. That is the 5th team foul on the Tide. Now coming back into the game is Lana McCarthy, and Christina Braga will sit down. They get it to King. Quick jumper for 3. No good. Off the rim. Blinn with the rebound.
Got the open look there.
Yeah, it was a shot definitely worth taking, one that King normally makes. Now that long pass and a chance to transition quickly goes awry as the long lead pass goes off the hands of Lengel, and it's a turnover for Concord.
And Sydney Grogan was there in defense. Now she makes a turnover as Lagulon was right there and went the other way.
Ava Woodman.
Ava Woodman's able to turn it into 2 points on the offensive end in transition.
Yeah, Lengel anticipated that pass well, so points off the turnover. Now inside to McCarthy. She puts it up, no good. A little too strong. I think she was anticipating contact. Here comes Concord the other way. Blinn with the in the key, gets stripped. And Lagulon takes it away. And what's this, an official holding up their hand? It's going to be a foul called here.
Yep, Langel's going to pick up her second, preventing a transition bucket. Not a bad foul to take there. But Sydney Grogan got her hand in there, stripped the basketball as the drive was happening there. I think Elizabeth Blinn was driving hard left.
Now King with it, being watched. Cross-court pass to Lagulon, down low to Braga.
There you go.
A little short jumper is good. Marina Braga with 4 points. Under 7 to go here in the half, 17-12. Bedford up by 5. Blinn inside, broken up there by Grogan. Now she loses the handle, gets it over to Cox. Into the corner for Woodman. Her shot no good, but they get the ball back. Blinn gets the rebound, and then the pass inside to Blinn was, Cox had the rebound, tried to get inside to Blinn and went off the foot. They're going to retain possession. Now Woodman with a 3, or a 2, I should say, from the corner, no good. Long lead pass in transition. That is broken up by Elizabeth Cox. The ball will stay with Bedford.
Good box out there by Sophia Lagulon, but then she was a little too anxious to get rid of that ball on that long pass.
Now King gets knocked down, and we get a call right off the bat. That's going to go on Duford, I believe.
That's going to send Isabella King to the line on a 1-and-1.
Yep, that is number 7. So Bedford in the bonus now fairly early in the second half. That could come back to haunt the Tide here. The first attempt, right on. King now with 5 points.
Yeah, 6.5 minutes here of the bonus. So Concord needs to watch their defense here.
And King nails the other one. She's 3 for 4 from the charity stripe. 19-12, Bulldogs up by 7. This is Woodman. Over to Duford, back up high to Lengel. Now Cox with it. Over to Blinn. Woodman drives.
Good help
Decides to
defense.
take a break. Lengel back. Now we get a travel call. Little shuffle there.
Again, Sydney Grogan, exceptional play there. Getting her feet across the lane, helped defense there. Created that turnover with the pivot back to the middle. These little things usually go unnoticed, but again, really nice play by Sydney Grogan. And now Isabella King's going to pick up an offensive foul. That's a tough one.
Yeah, Duford got in there and almost pulled the ball away.
Looks like Isabella King might have extended her right elbow out a little bit trying to protect the ball, and she gets called for the offensive foul.
Duford's pass inside for Blinn, blocked by McCarthy. King with the rebound. Bedford comes back the other way, under 6.5. She goes all the way to the bucket, and the layup, no good. Ball still loose. King gets it back, tries to put it up, and gets a foul.
Yeah, nice soft touch, just rolled off the front part of the rim, but got the offensive rebound, gave herself another chance at it. And it looks like, who's going to get that?
Number 21, it's going to be Elizabeth Cox.
Her first foul tonight, but it sends Isabella King back to the line.
Blinn is going to come out of the game, and Payne is coming back in for the Tide. And the first shot off the mark for King. She gets another. And this one is on the money. She got 7 points, and the Bedford lead is up to 8. It's 20-12. Lengel being watched by Lagoulon inside to Payne. McCarthy's on her. Payne's turnaround off the mark. King picks it up. Bedford in transition. Short jumper. King gets it blocked. Now picks it back up. Ball's on the ground. Another attempt there blocked by Braga. Cox was able to do that. Bedford, Concord in transition. There's an attempt by
Woodman,
thank you. And that's off the mark, and a foul, I believe, was called there, right?
That was a travel there. Travel. Yeah, she took a couple extra steps, so official on the near side called the travel as she was driving into the lane. Quite a back and forth sequence there as King got swatted on her fast break pull up from the foul line. Now Lagoulon's going to take a three. A little short, but McCarthy gets the rebound, puts it back up with the left.
That's 8 points for Lana McCarthy. 10-point lead now, 22-12, and we're going to get a timeout called to get things settled down here. So Bedford putting on the pressure, getting some scoring, and they pushed the lead back up to 12.
It sure did, and a lot of that had to do with the transition. They're getting out on the break, trying to put the pressure on the Crimson Tide defense. And if they're not getting the first one to go, the offensive rebounds are coming as well.
If you're a fan of Bulldog sports, be sure to become a member of the Bedford Athletic Booster Club. Their membership drive is on right now, and you can learn about how you can help the group by going to their website, bbabc.net. If you're a local business, too, you have opportunities to sponsor the athletic club. You can find out about that, too, at bbabc.net. Are we getting some fan mail here? Some fan texts?
PJ over Nashville, 22-12, second quarter.
Oh, is that a score?
That was confusing. So we're getting some information about a score of the BG game, and it was the exact same score as our score, 22-12. But BG is up by 10 over Nashua. So was it Nashua North, Nashua South? I'm sorry, I don't have that in front of me. I do. It's Nashua North. So it was a little confusing as the information was coming to us.
Yeah,
but
Bill Jennings is trying to get us that note.
We appreciate the score update, but the strange coincidence that it's the exact same score was causing some confusion for Harry and I.
So now Blinn or Cox over to Duford, back to Cox. Pass inside, broken up.
There you go, Grogan again.
Yeah, Grogan's been everywhere on these passes inside. She's really reading them well. She comes back. Mumpini now takes a dribble, takes a two-pointer. Jumps
There you
up.
go.
McCarthy with the rebound, up and in. 10 points there for McCarthy. She's having a game.
She's got to be close to a double-double already, as she's eating up the boards tonight, too. Good for her. The freshman has been coming up huge for them. She had a double-double in the last game. I think 15 points, 14 rebounds.
This is Payne inside to Duford. Shot off the baseline, off the rim. Rebound by Isabella King. Bring it back for Bedford. King dribbling, now takes a three.
Deep
and nails
three.
it.
Woo! Way outside. Isabella King gets the three to go. Now she's in double digits too as she gets the rebound.
And Cox drives all the way, and her rebound, or layup, I should say, is off the mark. Bedford brings it back. Here's Mumpini.
Good box out there by Sophia Payne.
That didn't drop. Concord gets the rebound. Coming back now. Woodman turns around, pivots. And there's going to be a foul right there off the miss. King with the rebound, and Payne ran into her. It's going to be, I believe, that's third one on Payne.
Sure is.
Getting into early foul trouble.
And King's going to go to the line. It wasn't a loose ball. She had already gotten the ball. And Payne comes up with the foul. So Isabella King is going to go back to the free throw line.
You know, once again, this early bonus opportunity for Bedford paying off, and that first shot is good for King. She is 5 of 7 so far from the charity stripe. And I jinxed her. Sorry.
Unbelievable, this guy over here. 5 of 8, you know she's frustrated with that. She finds those as freebies, and good free throw shooter.
Now Blinn drives to the bucket.
Oops.
Not strong enough. Payne with the rebound. She can't make it go. Tie up. They're going to say this is a jumper?
Yep, jump ball. Ava Woodman, Sophia Payne and Catherine Pennick get that ball tied up, so Crimson's going to keep that possession on the arrow.
Okay, so Woodman now under her back basket. Gets it inside to Cox. The jumper there and a rebound there by Blinn finally gets it in. That initial shot by Cox off the mark, and they get the rebound and put it in. And that breaks the Bedford scoring run. It's now 28-14. Bulldogs doubling up here on the Tide here with 3:04 to go in the first half.
Great help defense there again by Lana McCarthy. Came over. Unfortunately, on the backside after the miss, her player was able to get the offensive rebound and put it back. So Elizabeth Blinn now with 4 points. 3 minutes and 4 seconds left here in the first half. Most of the scoring on the Bedford Bulldogs side has come from both Isabella King and Lana McCarthy, both in double digits, as they've powered the Bulldog team to a 14-point lead.
Yeah, 11 for King, right? And 10 for McCarthy. Is that how it breaks out?
Yes, sir.
And Mumpini with 3 and Marina Braga with 4. And the game starting to get a little bit out of hand here for the Tide. They were hanging in there for a while, but it's starting to slip away on them. And having the extra chances from the foul line on the bonus probably doesn't help matters very much.
Again,
they got into early foul trouble with their bigs, too.
Yeah, next foul is going to put them in the double bonus, too. So they'll get an automatic 2 shots every time the Bulldogs are fouled.
So Mumpini's going to inbound this, and it looks like Concord's going to try to apply some pressure here.
Full court, 2-2-1. Looking to trap the ball anytime they can.
Grogan back to Mumpini. Now pass across. Bad pass there. Pennick was able to rescue it. Now they're running out of time. They need to get over the timeline. They do to King. King drops it off to Pennick. Her jumper is good.
Nice little kick there by King into Pennick on the baseline. She gets her jumper to go.
And they pulled that one out of the fire, too, because it looked like a lot of trouble in the backcourt. Concord was successful putting the pressure on, almost threw the ball away, they did.
Yeah, sure did.
Never did.
Looked like that 10-second was about an 8 count, and they still was able to get it over.
Now a 3-point attempt there by Layton. It goes off the Bedford player on the rebound.
Yeah, Grogan hustling hard, but Woodman was right there, putting some pressure on, and ball goes off of Sydney Grogan.
So the pass inside off the hands of Blinn goes right to a Bedford player. And now a long lead pass from McCarthy, and it goes off her hands. She tries to save it. Instead, it goes to Cox of Concord. They throw the touchdown pass. And there's going to be a basket and foul there. Woodman able to complete that play. She's going to get the and one. So fast transition there after McCarthy tried to save the out of bounds ball. Instead, it goes right to Cox of Concord, who finds Woodman breaking. And Woodman lays it up and in, gets a foul in the process.
Again, Sydney Krogan trying to prevent that fast break there. Put her hands up, but she was still moving her feet. Ava Woodman did an excellent job of drawing the contact, finishing the play, but can't finish the end one as she misses the free throw. So she'll stay at 5 points.
Now Grogan. King, Grogan again. She takes a step, finds Pennick underneath for a short jumper. A little too far, it rolls away. Ball's on the floor. Mampini gets to it, finds Pennick again. She puts it on the ground, lays it, hits the rim, and the rebound to Concord. Cox.
Blocked by Cox there too. That was a nice job on the defensive help.
Long three-point attempt there by number 2, Whitney Valiant. With an air ball. King gets it.
Looks like Layton's going to pick up a reach there, sending King back to the line, this time for 2 shots on the double bonus.
That is the 10th foul of the half on the Tide. So it's double bonus time here for Bedford.
That's a tough foul to pick up too. Again, she's not necessarily driving hard to the hoop. She's still not really in a threatening position. So to reach there and to send her to the line, a very good foul shooter, is a tough defensive play as she nails both.
Notice I didn't mention her free throw shooting percentage.
13 now for Isabella King.
And now Blinn caught between 3 Bulldogs.
Ooh, and we'll get a 3-second call as Blinn was there, double teamed, and then didn't get out of the lane quickly enough.
So 90 seconds to go in the half here. 32-16, Bulldogs doubling up the Tide, and they're pressing the backcourt again. Pennick gets blown up right at the midcourt stripe.
She says a tough one there too. She's going to draw a foul on Elizabeth Blinn. That's a tough foul to take. Catherine Pennick was in a really tight spot as she was just over half court, and the defense would have been good to just stand their ground, maybe come with a double team. She didn't have very much room to move, but picks up the foul and sends Catherine Pennick to the line for a 2-shot double bonus foul.
And first shot is off the mark. A little bit wide left. She'll have another try here. Second one is money. 3 points for Catherine Pennick. Concord coming back now, 123. Cox dribbling. Mumpini watching her. Over to Layton. Layton gets it to Blinn at the top of the key, driving to the basket, puts it up.
Ooh,
and they're going to call Blinn on a charge.
Yeah, that's her third.
So a lot of foul trouble early here for the Tide.
Sure is.
Not getting them, not helping them out at all.
The referee's going to call that elbow there as Catherine Pennick had good position. And Blinn came up strong with the elbow and gets the offensive foul.
Down low, Pennick has it. Back up to Mumpini. Across to King. King thinks about dishing it to Kazajanski, who's in the game now. Now Grogan drives off the glass. No good. Kazajanski with the rebound and gets it.
Cleans up the scraps there. Nice job by Kazajanski. Found the loose ball. Great position. Went back up strong and got it to go.
Olivia Crawford now in for Concord. Sends it over to Blinn. Layton gets it. Now Woodman, 29 seconds left in the half here. Double teamed on Blinn. She turns around. Her shot is short. King with the rebound. 22 seconds left here in the half. We'll see if Bedford plays for the last shot.
Yeah, that double team came quickly from Safia Mumpini. And outstanding job to get her feet over there, go straight up, force a tough shot.
10 seconds now. Mumpini back to King. 7, 6. And a pass to Kazajanski. Gets knocked off course by Woodman. That's going to stop the clock. Bedford will retain possession here. They're going to have to get a shot off right away. King takes a step.
Ooh, drew a foul too. Tough foul by Concord Crimson Tide. Yikes.
That could have been a travel too on King.
She took the dribble, took 2 steps through that double team, but she drew the foul on the arm And it looks like it was Rosemary Layton that will pick that one up. And Isabella King again, 2 more free throws.
She's had the lion's share of them today.
This will be 11 and 12 free throw attempts for King in the first half.
Her first try rims out. There's only 0.6 seconds remaining at the half here. Second shot is good. And the inbound, that's it. Buzzer goes off. And that's going to do it for the first half. A 20-point lead here for the Bulldogs. It was a little close after the first quarter. I believe it was a 3-point deficit for Concord. They were able to fight back from an 8-point deficit early. But since then, it's been all Bulldogs.
Absolutely right. The Bulldogs again jumped out to that quick lead. The Tide battled back a little bit there, and then the Bulldogs started to pull away as Isabella King scored 14 points in that first half. Lana McCarthy did a great job down low. Left hand, right hand, bunch of rebounds. She had 10 points there in the first half. Pennick with 3, Kazajanski 2, Mumpini 3, and Braga had a couple of key contributions there with 4 points as well.
And on the Concord side, you might have to double check me here. I think I've got 5 on Ava Woodman, Sophia Payne with 5 points as well, Elizabeth Cox with 2, and Elizabeth Blinn with 4 points.
Yeah, and we'll have to watch this too. Again, the bonus came pretty quickly for the Bulldogs in the first half, but there's some significant foul trouble for the starters on the Crimson Tide as both Elizabeth Blinn has 3 and Sophia Payne in one of their other forward/center combos also has 3 fouls. So a little bit of a story to watch as we enter the third quarter.
And we'll take a little break here at the radio station, and we'll come right back with second half action, about 8 minutes or so. You're watching Bedford Girls Playoff Basketball on BCTV and listening to Bedford 105.1. Score at the half. Bedford 36 and Concord 16. 20-point lead there for the Bulldogs. Other scores to report on going on right now in Nashua. BG's got a 29-point lead over Nashua North. It's 43-14 at the half over there. And we have finals to report from the other two games. Portsmouth over Exeter, a tight one, 59-56. They advanced to the Final Four. And that is a team that the winner of this game will face. And then Londonderry, also a tight one, but a low-scoring affair over Wyndham, 39-44. They will likely face BG if they go on to win.
Bruce Springsteen closing out halftime for us. Little glory days. Seems like the basketball teams here will remember this playoff experience 20 years from now and talk about their glory days.
Yeah, hats off to Corey Parker with the playlist here in the gymnasium. Opening up with some Tom Petty, follow it up with some AC/DC. Springsteen.
Ooh. Wow.
Early turnover there by the Bulldogs. They're going to say
offensive foul on Cindy Grogan. Referee felt like she put her elbow down or put her shoulder into the defensive player.
And now they come back. This is Woodman. Pulls up, leaves it there for Lengel, who leaves it again inside for Blinn. Ball's on the floor, still loose. And a quick timeout when Penna came up with the ball, preserved the possession there for Bedford.
It's a coaching move right out of the playbook right there. And Pennick had the ball, was in a tough position down there in the lane, and Coach Gibbs called timeout from the bench. So able to keep possession there. Early action here in the third quarter.
The Bulldogs, if they hang on, will advance to the Final Four, which this year will be played instead of at SNHU Fieldhouse. It'll be at Sanborn Regional High School in Kingston. And that game is going to be a 5 o'clock game on Thursday. And we're hoping to bring you coverage of that game as well. We're already going to be bringing you Final Four hockey action on Wednesday at 4:15 with the Bulldogs facing the Blue Devils of Salem.
So the Bulldogs inbound there. They get it to King. Full court pressure here by Woodman. Up quick to Sydney Grogan, and she'll draw a reach on Rosemary Layton. That's her third foul. So as we mentioned, coming into the third quarter, the foul trouble is going to start to mount here for the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, a lot of Tide players carrying 3 fouls right now.
Mumpini cross court finds Pennick. Now Grogan, top of the key. Isabel King, righty dribble, little pick and roll. Now they kick to Safia Mumpini, who hits a baseline jumper. And she has 5. Concord up quick. They find Layton. Back to Cox. Blinn. Now Woodman. Hands back to Cox. Now deep to Blinn, and she gets stuffed down there by Isabella King. Grogan comes up with the loose ball. Now King.
Great defense there by King to anticipate that shot.
Sure was. Kicks back to Grogan. Grogan, foul line jumper. Can't get it to go. Lana McCarthy with her 900th rebound. Can't get that to go. Pennick finds Lana McCarthy. Little jumper. That's too strong. And Cox comes away with the defensive rebound. So 3 looks there for the Bulldogs. And now the Crimson Tide have numbers as 2 Bedford players fell. Blinn got her own offensive rebound. Couldn't get that to go. Pennick gets control, but she falls down. And that's going to be a travel. Hustle there by Pennick, the junior forward. But again, she falls to her knees, and that's going to be a travel call. Concord will inbound. They find Layton for 3, and that's good. Her first basket of the game.
Makes it 38-19.
Thank you. Great entry pass from Safia Mumpini down to Lana McCarthy. She has 12 now. Lay in with the right.
Yeah, McCarthy wasted no time getting that ball into the basket.
Good footwork. Got herself an open shot. Now Payne was able to get a pivot back to her left. Gets that shot to go. Payne, the freshman, has had significant contributions down here. And Isabella King's going to pick up an offensive foul.
Yeah, she sent Ava Woodman down to the floor. You're talking about the age of these players. It's a very young roster, this Concord team, carrying only 3 upperclassmen. 2 are juniors, only 1 senior, the rest sophomores and freshmen. So you can only imagine how much better this team will become in the years to follow.
And right there, Layton's going to pick up her 4th foul. The ball slipped out of her hand. Mumpini was ready to get out in transition. You're absolutely right. A young team, they're going to be back here in this state tournament in the future years with such a young squad.
Now Layton goes out with those 4 fouls, and Delaney Duford comes in for her. Still 19-point lead for the Bulldogs.
Concord looks to jump and double team Grogan as she brought it up with those 2 high defensive players and the 2-3. Can't get it to go. King drives baseline, but she's blocked from behind by Sophia Payne. Loose ball goes to, was that Pennick? I missed that there.
So did I. I thought it was McCarthy.
Okay, McCarthy. Cox gets to the baseline, can't get that to go. King away with the rebound. Up quick to Mumpini. She'll take a jumper. Too strong there. Cox comes away with the rebound, and Grogan's going to get a block. Grogan's 3rd foul there.
That was somewhat unavoidable there by Grogan. I mean, she had nowhere to go. She was trying to get out of her way, or at least trying to keep up with the Concord player, but she got ran over in the process and got a foul for her trouble.
Shuffling her feet, tried to get to that sideline quickly and wasn't there quite quickly enough. So she'll pick up her 3rd foul. Safia Mumpini has 2. Isabella King with 2. Pennick with 2, but no real serious foul trouble, whereas the Crimson Tide, Layton is on the bench with 4. Payne has 3 and Blinn has 3.
And the lead just gets wider and wider here for the Bulldogs. They're up to 21 here, 42-21 with 4:51 to go here in the 3rd. The last 2 regular season contests were 17-point wins for the Bulldogs, and things seem to be following the same script here.
Yeah, Coach Latour is going to be scheming over there in the Crimson Tide huddle, trying to figure out how they can scrap their way back into this game. It's a tough one when you have King with 14 and McCarthy with 14. Those 2 players have really been dominant on the offensive side. Trying to double team, trying some 2-3, trying a little box and 1 or diamond and 1. It's tough to stop both of those players on the same night. So Cox brings it into the front court, finds Lengel. Lengel to Delaney Duford, tapped away by Grogan, and out of bounds, so the Crimson Tide will keep it. 2 substitutions now for the Bulldogs as Marina Braga and Emma Kazajanski check in for Pennick and Grogan. Woodman inbounds to Cox, back to Woodman. They have Payne posting low. Woodman drives herself, and she's going to draw a foul. So Woodman will go to the line. Looks like Lana McCarthy's going to pick that one up, or it was 1 and 3 shown. So they're going to give it to Safia Mumpini, her 3rd foul, and Woodman goes to the line for 2.
You know, there was quite a battle under the basket between Kazajanski and Payne fighting for position.
Sure was. Payne was trying to create some space for herself. Kazajanski did well to apply some muscle there, the junior forward. Woodman hits her first. And their second. So Woodman has 7 now. Marina Braga can't find McCarthy. Twice in a row, that ball gets battled. Safia Mumpini comes up with the loose ball. Finds Braga open at the top of the key. And the ball gets batted again. Cox comes away with that.
Yeah, it slipped out of her hand there. I think she was caught between a pass and a shot.
Duford drives hard lefty, kicks back to Payne. Payne to Duford. Duford can't get the 3 to go, but comes to Jordan Lengel. Lengel kicks to Cox. Cox gets over to the right side. Can't get her jumper to go, and Kazajanski comes away with the defensive board. Couple good looks there by the Crimson Tide. They couldn't get the ball to fall. Now Isabella King looking for a pick and roll from McCarthy. Didn't quite get a good enough pick, so they kick to Braga down on the baseline. Braga drives to the middle. Her pass is tipped over to Kazajanski, and the ball's tied up, so the Crimson Tide will come away on a held ball.
Yeah, I think Kazajanski took her eye off the pass just a split second before it got to her hands, hit her, and wound up on the floor and gave an opportunity for Concord to tie it up there.
Yeah, and that's tough. That's tough on the receiving player, right? Because that ball got tipped on the way through the lane. So just the slightest deflection is going to cause a change in trajectory of the ball, and it makes it a lot harder to catch. So absolutely, and that turned into that held ball, and now a Concord possession after that. So 42-23, 19-point lead with 3:31 left in the third quarter. The Bulldogs hold a substantial lead here. And ironically, the Bulldogs have been the ones fouling a little bit more, as they have 4 team fouls versus the Crimson Tide's 2 team fouls.
And now possession goes over to...
Yeah,
no,
look,
I think the officials got mixed up there.
yeah, they sure did. They were going to give it to the Bulldogs, but the possession arrow points to the Crimson Tide, so they will inbound, and Cox will come over half court, and the possession arrow now changes towards the Bulldogs. Blinn over to Woodman. Woodman backdoor to Blinn. Crafty play out of the timeout there, as Blinn puts it in for 2. She now has 6. Mumpini's going to get double teamed in the backcourt. She finds Kazajanski. Now up quick to Isabella King. Isabella King setting up their offense. They get a pick and roll. Tough pick there by Alana McCarthy. Mumpini now finds Kazajanski. She'll jack from 3, too short. And Blinn comes away with the rebounds. Good shot, good open look. Just didn't fall. Now Cox finds Duford. Duford for 3, short. That ball comes to Isabella King. She gets fouled again. Jordan Lengel now picks up her 3rd foul.
Yeah, King a little slow getting up, but she might have gotten nicked on that fall.
She's taken a couple of hard falls on the same hip.
Kind of
This is
sloppy.
Second time here.
Pretty sloppy foul, I think, by Lengel. Kind of loss of body control, landed on top of King.
King's going to stay in the game, and full court pressure will ensue. Braga takes a dribble, and she's fouled by Duford. That's Duford's 3rd foul. So again, the fouls are racking up on the Crimson Tide. 2:39 left. We might see a quick entry to the bonus situation. Braga finds King deep. They come with double, but King passes to Kazajanski. Kazajanski to Braga, and that ball goes off of her hands, out of bounds. So 42-25, 2.5 left in the third quarter. Cox hands to Woodman. Woodman back to her right hand. Makes a great drive to the hoop and finishes in traffic.
Yeah,
9 points now for Woodman.
She found a lane in all that defensive crush to get to the bucket.
Offensive board now by Kazajanski. She turns back to her right. Cleans up a little sloppy play. Lana McCarthy couldn't get the lefty layup to go, but Kazajanski pulls the board, cleans it up. Kazajanski with 4 points now. She switches off and has Woodman. Woodman, crossover. That gets stolen by King, and King is fouled by Blinn. Blinn now has 4 fouls. She was off to the races if Blinn didn't pick up that foul.
Yeah, it was kind of a hip check there by Blinn. And I suppose you could say it was a good foul because King would have been off to the races if she hadn't done that.
Sure was. And Blinn's going to check out. Payne comes in. 4 fouls out, 3 fouls in. And you're absolutely right. Isabella King was going to have a sure 2 points there. Kazajanski drives hard righty, and she is going to get called for an offensive foul. Looked like Jordan Lengel might have still been moving her feet, but
yeah, I think you're right.
the referee calls it against Kazajanski. That's only her first foul of the evening. But the Crimson Tide comes away with it. Excuse me, Harry.
Not a problem. Still a 17-point lead here for Concord, 44-27.
Deep in the corner for Duford. She finds Payne cutting across. Back to Duford, shoots a 3, and that one's good. Delaney Duford's first bucket of the game is a three-pointer. Now the Crimson Tide force a turnover as Cox comes up with it at half court. She drives hard, kicks to Woodman. Woodman now gets her pass stolen by Braga. Braga in on the fast break. Pivots back to her right hand, won't go, but Safia Mumpini comes away with it, and she puts it in for two. 7 points for Mumpini, and the lead is 16, 46-30.
Yeah, good recovery there after Braga couldn't get the layup.
45 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Hands to Woodman. Woodman, top of the key, drives hard. Good defense by McCarthy, staying straight up, but Payne comes away with the rebound. Her pass back to Cox is too high, out of bounds, and the Bulldogs will get that ball.
Yeah, sailed it right over her head there.
Grogan is going to check in for Mumpini. 39 seconds left here in the third quarter. Marina Braga comes away to inbound the ball. Finds Isabella King, who's guarded closely by Woodman. That's tapped away by Woodman. Out of bounds with 33 seconds left now. Inbound pass to Sydney Grogan. Grogan, righty, comes back to her left, finds King. King, spin move into the lane, back to her left hand. She's going to draw a foul. Looks like Woodman's going to get a foul there, her first of the evening, but sends Isabella King to the line.
Yeah, I think King goes to that underhanded move when she realizes that she doesn't have a good chance at the bucket, with the thought that she might get a hack on the arm on the upswing, and it worked out that time.
Absolutely does. You know, scorers are going to find ways to score in all different ways, whether it's outside, inside, or drawing the fouls to get to the line. And King did well there. She hits both of those. She has 16 on the night now. And another steal by Braga. She steps into the passing lane. On the break, she's going to finish and get fouled. Wonderful play there by Marina Braga, the senior guard. Stepped into the passing lane, drew the foul. Now she'll go to the line for the N1 opportunity as Elizabeth Cox picks up her second foul, and that is going to put the Bulldogs into the bonus as soon as they enter the fourth quarter. Braga hits the foul shot, and she has 7, and it's 51-30, 21-point lead for Bedford.
Just 5 seconds left.
2, Woodman steps away, gets the shot off, and it's good. Buzzer beater for Ava Woodman on that three-pointer at the end of the third quarter. But it only brings them to 18 points for the deficit.
And Woodman is the leading scorer so far here for the Tide. That three-pointer gives her 12 points on the night. Rosemary Layton with a 3. Sophia Payne with 7. Elizabeth Cox with 2. Elizabeth Blinn with 6 points. And Delaney Duford with 3.
Over on the Bulldog side, as we mentioned early in the game, Isabella King and Lana McCarthy were leading the charge. So King with 16, McCarthy 14, making up 30 of the 51 points so far. The others are Marina Braga on that great three-point play right there, stepping into the passing lane. She has 7. Safia Mumpini with 7, Kazajanski 4, and Catherine Pennick has 3 to round out the Bulldogs scoring.
And I want to point out, too, that 10 of King's points came from the foul line. She's had 14 attempts in this game.
She does, and you know what?
Way more than everybody else.
We're going to hear after the game that she's frustrated about those 4 misses. But you're right, 10 of 14 from the line. And again, scorers are going to find a way to score. You see players like Harden at the top level, they get to the line as much as possible. And seeing that open rim with no defense in front of you gets you going, gets you good feel on the basketball. So Braga into Grogan. Grogan drives righty. Double pick over for King. King shoots a 3, and it's good. 19 now for King on a design play out of bounds by Coach Gibbs. The ATO, or after timeout play, pays off there with the three-pointer for King. Into Payne. Payne, tough matchup there with Lana McCarthy playing defense. They kick to Woodman. Woodman drives to the middle. Back to Cox, top of the circle. She's going to draw the foul on Lana McCarthy. Lana was just a half a step too slow as she moved over, and Cox will go to the line for 2. So again, McCarthy does a good job to provide the help defense, but she was still moving as she was getting over there. Cox drew the bump, and she'll go to the line. Gets the first one to rattle around and go. Again, used all of it, back rim, front rim, and it does fall. Second one is too strong, so she'll stay at 3 points. Jordan Lengel tries to get it to her teammate underneath, but that ball went out of bounds off of a Bedford player, so Concord will keep possession off the missed free throw. Woodman looks for cutters, finds Duford at the top of the key, inbound down to Payne. Payne fakes, gets back to her left. Offensive rebound down there by Whitney Valiant. Doesn't go, but she'll get a foul on Lana McCarthy, her third. So 2 quick fouls on Lana McCarthy, and she has 3 fouls now. Whitney Valiant will go to the line. Looks like that might have been a foul on the backside. I wasn't quite sure who was behind Whitney Valiant on that putback try, but to me it looked like Lana McCarthy was going straight up. Whitney Valiant makes the second of 2. And the Bulldogs inbound quickly. Grogan, cross court, no good. Braga is able to track down that ball. Lana McCarthy, tough catch, and she's fouled by Jordan Lengel, and that's Lengel's 4th foul. And it's a 1-and-1, so that sends Lana McCarthy to the line for her first free throw attempt of the evening. 7:09 left here, 54-35. The Bulldogs hold a 19-point lead. McCarthy steps in, spins, misses. Rebounds tapped around, and Sophia Payne comes away with it, and they're out quick in transition. But Grogan has a steal of her own, and now they're back in transition. The Bulldogs, Grogan can't get it to go, but King comes away with the offensive rebound. Her shot is no good. Her putback short, and Lengel comes away with that rebound. So Woodman back, Duford, cross court, finds Valiant. Valiant drives left, hands to Woodman. Woodman gets a pick there from Lengel. Kazajanski looks to play defense there. King comes up with the steal. Kazajanski out in transition, and she gets fouled by Woodman on the layup attempt. So Kazajanski will go to the line for 2.
It looks like Elizabeth Blinn getting ready to get back in here for Concord.
That was an interesting call by the trail official. There was an official right under the basket that didn't call anything, but it seems like the trail official saw a hit on the arm as Kazajanski hits the first of 2. So as you mentioned, Blinn and Cox come back in. Lengel and Valiant will take a seat for the Crimson Tide. Kazajanski dribbles. Her shot is short, does not draw iron, so that's a violation, but the Bulldogs will hold a 20-point lead with 6:26 left. Catherine Pennick will check in for Kazajanski. So we have Pennick, Marina Braga, Lana McCarthy, King, and Grogan matching up against the Concord Crimson Tide. They're in a 2-3 defense now. Cox drives lefty, finds Blinn. Woodman rips through to her right hand, spins back to her left. Would have been a crafty finish with her left hand. Sophia Payne scraps for that offensive rebound. Can't quite get it to go, but she tapped the ball off of Isabella King. So Concord will keep possession here. Woodman to Cox, deep in the left corner. She drives hard righty, kicks to Duford. That shot's no good. McCarthy taps it to herself, but too strong, and it goes out of bounds. Still a 20-point lead, 55-35, with 5:51 left to go in the game, and Concord will take another timeout here. They only have 1 remaining. So both teams are in the bonus. Next foul by the Crimson Tide will put Bedford in a double bonus, an automatic 2-shot foul. The Bulldogs have 7 team fouls, so the next couple are a 1-and-1 situation for the Crimson Tide.
And the Tide have a number of players with 3 and 4 fouls respective. including some key players. So they need to be a little bit careful if they want to see those players to the end of the game.
Sure, Lengo has 4, Layton has 4, Blinn has 4, Sophia Payne with 3, and Duford with 3. Foul trouble on the Bedford side. There are 3 players with 3 fouls, Mumpini, Grogan, and McCarthy. But nobody with 4. And I was mistaken, actually. That last timeout was Concord's last timeout. They do not have any timeouts left. Woodman to Cox on the inbound. They set up the picket fences. Woodman gets a clean look, and she knocks it down. 15 now for Woodman. And again, a nice out-of-bounds play there. Classic Hoosiers basketball right there. Don't get caught watching the paint dry as Woodman was straight away, knocked it down. They get the inbound, the entry pass into McCarthy. She gets tied up, and possession arrow points to Concord. Good help defense by the Crimson Tide there as they got quickly onto McCarthy and tied that ball up. So Cox will bring it up. Lefty dribble, crosses over, but goes back to her left side to Blinn. Blinn drives hard righty, and she'll get it to go. Little pull-up jumper near the left elbow. Tough fall by Pennick, and Braga's going to get a double dribble here. So Braga's going to go out as Safia Mumpini comes in. 5:07 left. It's a 15-point deficit for the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, Tide's starting to pull it a little closer here. They were down 22 at one point.
Sure, entry pass to Payne. Now back to Blinn. Blinn finds Duford at the top of the key. Woodman. Now to Cox. Guarded closely by Mumpini. She drives left-handed, and that looked like a travel. Does not get called. Woodman gets the runner to go. Woodman with 17 now. Full court pressure again, a 3-2, and they trap Mumpini. Back to Grogan. They find King, and she's going to dribble out of pressure.
Yeah, that could have been a foul right there.
King's going to go hard to the basket. Can't get it to go. Pennick there and McCarthy there, but they knock it out of bounds, so Concord will come away with it.
And they're within 13 right now, 4:27 to play.
4:27 left. 55-42. Cox drives hard right, and that looks like Cox was driving hard, but Payne is going to pick up her 4th foul on a moving screen. Some of the Concord players and coaches are a little confused by that, as well as their fans, but it's still going to go back to Bedford on that turnover. Rogan deep to Pennick. Right side. King looks for a pick. Guarded closely there. Mumpini now. McCarthy cuts through the lane. King drives hard, draws a double, kicks to Mumpini. She looked down low to get it to McCarthy, but that pass is blocked away by Payne.
And she knocked it out of bounds, too, so the ball will stay with Bedford.
She sure did. Exceptional hustle by Sophia Payne there on the defensive play. Tried to track down that loose ball, but couldn't. Goes out of bounds off of her, so Bedford will get possession. But I am very impressed by the freshman's contributions tonight. Sophia Payne, 7 points. A little bit of foul trouble, but she's had a certain impact down low for the Crimson Tide.
Don't forget, we're going to have Bedford playoff hockey for you here Wednesday afternoon, 4:15 face-off from JFK Arena. It's the semifinals in the NHIAA Division I. They'll be facing the Salem Blue Devils, a team they split with in the regular season, losing their home game, winning at Salem Ice Center. And like I said, that's going to be 4:15 start, and we'll bring that to you on BCTV as well as Bedford 105.1.
So Coach Gibbs probably drew up another after timeout play. He's got his seasoned players here. So he'll come with Mumpini, Pennick, King, McCarthy, and Grogan. The Crimson Tide will come out with Woodman, Cox, Duford, Blinn, and Payne. Deep into the corner to Mumpini. She finds King back up top. Now Grogan straight away. well away from the basket. Looks like they might try to bleed some time off the clock here. Grogan along the baseline. Passes back. Saw Mumpini cutting, but she did not pull down the ball. Grogan with the loose ball on the far sideline, and it looked like she might have been sitting on the sideline.
Trying to figure out what the call's going to be here because the Concord player was the one who knocked the ball over the over and back line.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the call was there, but they're going to award the ball to the Bulldogs. So Mumpini inbounds to King. King over the timeline will hand off to Grogan. And again, they're going to run a weave here up by half court, but Mumpini rips through. Ball gets tapped around and lost. Pennick comes down, and she'll tie it up for a held ball situation, which the possession arrow points to the Bulldogs. So they're trying to bleed a little bit of time off the clock. 3:12 left, and they hold a 13-point lead. Safia Mumpini inbounds to McCarthy. She puts it up lefty, gets it to go. Crafty little move by the freshman center. She has 16 now.
Yeah, and that breaks the run for the Tide, who got it down to 13. Now it's backed up to a 15-point lead with under 3 to play.
So Woodman to Blinn, back to Woodman. Woodman straight away. Shimmies, drives hard righty, and that layup attempt just bounces out. Mumpini comes away with the rebound. King into the front court. Some ball handling skills there to keep pressure away. Now they're going to run that three-man weave up top again.
I wonder if they're trying to draw Concord out so they can get somebody open underneath. Now Pennick just cut, and McCarthy didn't see that.
Yeah, they're certainly trying to draw the defense out. Again, it's a bonus situation here. So you draw the foul, and you're going automatically to the line for 2 shots. They're looking to bleed some time off, and it's working. So it's down to 2 minutes and 15 seconds left.
Their pass by McCarthy just went off of Woodman out of bounds. So ball will stay with Bedford here with 2:15 to play.
Bedford stacking it up on the sideline. Mumpini back to Grogan. Grogan guarded closely there, and Duford picks up her 4th foul. Grogan will go to the line for 2 shots. Grogan, not a normal scorer, but she does pretty much everything else here on the court.
She's been the defensive star of this game, I think. The number of turnovers she's been able to generate.
An exceptional athlete. Misses her first, but she's a star on the lacrosse field. Also an exceptional swimmer. Her brother was one of the Bedford Bulldogs football players. Graduated, I believe, last year. Misses her second, but McCarthy comes away with the offensive rebound. Out to Mumpini. Mumpini, entry pass to McCarthy. She gets whacked, no call. Finds its way back to Grogan, and she's going to get fouled again. This time by Duford, and that is going to do it for Duford, as that is her 5th foul. Grogan goes back to the line, again, 2 shots.
And Jordan Lingle will come in and take Duford's place.
Yeah, Duford hit a 3 early, picked up too many fouls, but good contributions for her on the defensive end. Despite those fouls, she was locking down, I believe, King early on when they were doing that box and one. The first this time for Sydney Grogan will go. Her first point tonight. 2 minutes to go, 58-42. 16-point lead turns into 16 points as Grogan misses the second. Payne comes away with the rebound. Blinn drives hard off the glass with her left hand, won't go, but Payne comes away with the rebound. Cox over to Woodman. Ball fake, drives hard righty, stops in the lane. Now Payne steps into a jumper, that won't go. Blinn with the rebound and gets the rebound to go, but that will not count as there was a foul on the floor by King. That foul on the floor by King will put Blinn on the line for a 1-and-1.
We have a final from Nashua, BG 70, Nashua North 25.
Oof.
45-point win. That's going to put BG into the Final Four to face Londonderry.
Oof. Yikes. So Blinn will step in for her first of a 1-and-1. Does not go, does not earn the second. Mumpini comes away with that loose ball, and that's going to be a held ball. She's tied up by Olivia Crawford, who's checked into the game. Defensive purposes for fouling, I believe, but she got the tie up, and Concord comes away with it. So offense, defense is going to pay off for the Crimson Tide. It now finds Blinn. Blinn to Cox. She drives lefty. She pauses there, finds Woodman. Woodman no good on the three, and that's going to go out of bounds. So offense, defense again. Olivia Crawford checks in. Whitney Valiant checks in. Woodman and Cox go out, and they're looking to find a quick foul when they can. Lana McCarthy goes out, and Marina Braga comes in.
Actually, Christina Braga's in right now.
I'm sorry, Christina Braga. Layton comes back in for the Tide, too. The inbounds pass. Ooh, it gets tipped by Grogan, and Layton's going to pick up her fifth foul as well. So she comes back in for a fraction of a second and picks up her fifth. And now Grogan will go to the line again for 2 shots. So Layton takes the seat. Cox, Woodman, and Blinn come back in. Again, foul trouble for each of them, except for Cox. She only has 2. Blinn with 4. Woodman only 2, so maybe not that much foul trouble, but it's an offense-defense type substitution. Sydney Grogan steps in for the first of a 2-shot double bonus. That's good.
And Olivia King takes a seat on the bench. Trying to see who came in for her.
Sophia Lugulan.
Thank you.
And Grogan hits the second. She has 3 points now, all from the stripe. And she'll take a seat as Sydney Swazo comes in. And Kazajansky will check in for Catherine Pennick. So the bench has been emptied with 1:18 left here, 60-42. The Bulldogs have an 18-point lead, which should hold up. Blinn, entry pass to Lengel, but she's fouled by Sophia Lagulan over the back there. And that should send Lengel to the line. So Lengel will go to the line for a 1-and-1. We have some players waiting to check in. Again, Crawford in, Valiant in, Woodman out, Cox out for the Tide. Ava Dubois checks in, and Sofia Mumpini will go to the bench. Lengel's first is too strong. Ball batted around. Blinn comes up with it. She's going to go strong to the hoop and draw a foul.
So it appears that the Final Four in Girls Division I has been set. BG advances, Londonderry advances. They will face off at Sanborn High School on Thursday at 7 o'clock. Meanwhile, Bedford and Portsmouth, at least Bedford, should they advance here with just a minute and an 18-point lead, they'll face Portsmouth at 5 o'clock.
Blinn misses the first and the second. Ball's batted around. Lengel comes away with it, and she cleans up the mess there. First bucket for Lengel. Dubois rips through, and she's going to draw a foul. Dubois will go to the line for her 2 shots as Olivia Crawford picks up the foul. So 58 seconds left, 60-44. And Ava Dubois bounces, spins. Her first shot is good as it rattles around. Woodman and Cox check back in for the Crimson Tide. Dubois' second is also good. Cox over to Blinn. Blinn back to Cox. Finds Woodman on the left side. Ball fake, dribbles. Finds a cutting Blinn, back door, and that's good. Blinn has 10 now, into double digits for the junior. Now Dubois Gets through several Concord defenders, but gets a double dribble called from the trail official.
While having a conversation with the Concord coach. Multitasking.
62-46, a 16-point lead for the Bulldogs. Concord will inbound on the near sideline. Lengel into Cox. Hand off to Woodman. Woodman gets the straightaway, drives hard righty. Takes 2 strong steps through the tough defense, finishes and draws the foul. So 19 now for Woodman, and she'll go to the line to try to make that 20. Legulon will pick up the foul. And more of the same substitution pattern from Concord with 27.8 left. So the sophomore guard steps in and makes the 3-point play true. Legulon to Dubois. Dubois gets fouled quickly by, looks like Valiant is going to get that foul.
Concord certainly trying to make the magic last year today.
They sure are, but Dubois is going to go back to the line for a 2-shot foul.
You know, they're down by, is it 17 right now? And it's only 26 seconds left in the game, so I could appreciate trying to claw their way back, but it's more or less a lost cause at this point.
Well, quick correction on your math. It's 14 now with that free throw as Dubois hits her 3rd in a row. Her 4th is off, but she cleans up the rebound and gets the lay-in to go. 20 seconds now, 65-49. Woodman drives hard to the middle, gets her shot blocked. Braga to Suazo. Suazo crossover, and Woodman will pick up a foul there as they send Suazo back to the line. 9 seconds left here, 16-point lead. And wouldn't it be ironic if this game also ends in a 17-point margin? Of course, the first 2, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, between these 2 ended in a 17-point win for the Bulldogs. Suazo misses her first. And wouldn't fate have it that she's going to hit the second, and we'll see no more scoring in the next 9 seconds. Jordan Lengel, the senior, is substituted out by Coach Latorre. She gets a hug from her coach. Suazo does hit the second. 17-point lead. 9 seconds, 6. Payne down in the lane, gets a little lefty to go. So it will not be that 17-point win, but it's a 15-point win nonetheless. And the Bedford Bulldogs come away with the victory this evening. They will move on to the state semifinals against Portsmouth on Thursday.
Thursday at 5 o'clock. Okay, scoring recap here. Ava Dubois with 4 points. Marina Braga with 7. Sophia Mumpini with 7. Sydney Grogan, 3 from the charity stripe. Emma Kazajanski with 5. Catherine Pennick with 3. Sydney Suazo with 1. The big scores for the Bulldogs, it was Isabella King with 19 points and Lana McCarthy with 16.
For the Crimson Tide, they were led by Ava Woodman with 20 and Elizabeth with 10. Scores were Rosemary Eaton with 3, Whitney Valiant with 1. Sophia Payne, the freshman, did well to get 9, 2 at the end there. Elizabeth Cox with 3. Delaney Duford with that early 3. So that rounds out the Crimson Tide scoring. That wasn't quite enough to overcome an early onslaught by King and McCarthy, and the Bulldogs come away with the victory.
And that's going to do it here at Bedford High Gym. Don't forget hockey action on Wednesday, the semifinals, Bedford against Salem, a 4:15 puck drop from JFK. We'll have that call for you on BCTV and Bedford 105.1. And we're going to try to get you the semifinal girls basketball game Thursday. Still working on the details. So for George Cox on camera, Bill Jennings on graphics, Corey Munson-Tiger on color and play-by-play, I'm Harry Kozlowski. So long, everybody.